Welcome everyone to a casted game of Age of Empires 4. And today, spawning in the northeast corner of the map, playing in red, we've got the Mista as the English. And his opponent in the southwest, playing in blue, we've got Whammo1 playing as the Chinese. Welcome everyone to Kawasan. That is your map for today on the Empire Wars game mode. And it's a great map, but we'll come on to that in just a second, because on the Empire Wars game mode, as you guys know, things heat up very quickly. We've got the barracks up and running already. For the Mista, going to be pumping out some man-at-arms nice and early. Barbican of the Sun is the landmark of choice for the Chinese. Going to protect that gold, protect that wood line. And he has already sent out a villager to build a dock here, the Chinese Wham. He's going to be supervising that wood income and also the mill nice and early. So that food income, that wood income, going to be skyrocketing for the Chinese. It's looking good, but I have to say one thing, actually, with the English. Especially with the Empire Wars game mode, I think something is so strong are the farms. He starts off with 8 farms, and that's already giving him 510 food per minute. And that's so strong when you consider, the food is being supervised here for the Chinese. So that's why the Chinese are keeping up. But that farming economy, very nice to start off with the English. Got to be careful here, Mister, not to lose his scout. It does back away in time. And well, with the Barbican of the Sun up and running, this could be a couple of options for the Chinese. Maybe a Song Dynasty, probably a Song Dynasty. Potentially a fast castle, especially when he's got the fishing economy up and running. But we have to say one thing about these two civilizations. Very strong on hybrid maps, the Chinese, of course, because they've got a great economy with the supervision of the Imperial official on that wood line. Now, the English are great on water as well. Their docks, whilst they're full price on those docks, they do get cheaper fishing boats, cheaper naval, military, you name it. Pretty much everything's cheaper in the docks. And it makes for a great spectacle on water at times, but I don't know if you've noticed it. The Mista has produced about 3 man-at-arms, and he hasn't gone on water. That's an incredible surprise, mixing it up, and I guess in many ways the Empire Wars game mode is relatively still undiscovered, and that's why this game is going to be fantastic. You're the Mista, who's an absolutely, what can you say? He's just a strategic mastermind when it comes to RTS games. Whether it be, knowing him from Age of Mythology, but now in Age of Empires 4. In many ways, the connoisseur of many different strategies, continuing with the man-at-arms rushing early on, is the Mista. You love to see it. And he's kind of changing things up, like you'd expect the English to be contesting water. I mean, he hasn't even taken his own dock, really, in terms of his own pond, but okay, well, he's mixing it up. Sending a villager to get an outpost in a nice position. Is going to be overseeing this wood line. And partially this one as well, sitting in man-at-arms on the west side. Trouble is, I'm not sure it's going to get all that much value. Everything that's kind of desirable to attack and hit is pretty well protected when you consider the Barbican on that gold vein. So it's going to be pretty happy, I think, in many ways. Here, Wham, just to boom it up. He's got the Song Dynasty up and running, and he's got the fishing economy as well. Where do you go from here for the Mista? He's got 11 military units, he's pumping. Okay, well, he's going to go for a pretty heavy feudal age, as you can see, because, you can see the longbowmen streaming across. Speaking about streaming across, I would like to say a very big thank you for the YouTube channel members that have signed up, going the extra mile to support the channel. It's super appreciated. It obviously helps me churn out more great content for Age of Empires 4. I've changed my strategy on the channel recently, if you haven't noticed. I cast a lot of games, but I only actually upload the good ones, the things that I think, the ones that I think are interesting, the ones that I think are showcasing good strategies, are epic battles, that kind of stuff. Because I know that, the quality matters, right? You don't want to have rubbish games being played and watched. Because if you watch a bad game, you're probably not going to come in for the next one. And that's what I want you guys to do. And so if you do like the videos generally, make sure you give the videos a thumbs up, because it obviously really helps out on the YouTube algorithm side of things. But speaking about helping out for the English, you might want to think about going to the berries later on. There's a lot of free food to be gathered. Now, if you're not aware about Kawasan, you've got berries in the middle, of course. You've got the 2 ponds that you can go for. You've got the 4 deep water fish spots on each one. And then you've got the shore fishing as well on the sides of them. And you've got a gold vein on either side. There's an 8,001 there. There's an 8,001 there. There's actually a cheeky little 4,001 there too. Kind of an interesting position. And of course you've got relics as you'd expect, and that's about it really. I mean, you've got 3 wood lines, 3 major wood lines you'd expect on either side. Everything else is a little bit more sporadic. Well, speaking about sporadic, well, the army's staying together really here for the Mista. Let's see what he can hit, and it's an interesting dynamic because it feels like Mista's on a timer right now, because he hasn't challenged the dock. Doesn't have a dock of his own. So it's behind on that side of things in terms of economy. It's behind in the fact that the Song Dynasty has been active for a while. Means more villagers. The Chinese going for mostly Chukunu. And I think, I don't know, it's an interesting one because the English are one of two civilizations that get the man-at-arms. The man-at-arms is actually a really decent unit in this situation because he's up against Chukunu. These guys, especially with Iron Undermesh, which has been researched, makes them pretty tanky against the Chukunus, allows the longbows to fire across at the back of any sort of military push. And that could be key. Speaking of key, well, scouting is key in RTS games, and the scout is now just finding out key information. He backs away, though, because, of course, he's being pushed away by that solitary Chukunu. He's almost trying to attack the dock. I mean, it's an interesting one, because he hasn't challenged the dock for one of two reasons. One, that he didn't make his own dock on the waters, but now it's a little bit too late, because there are two archer ships going to be protecting the javelins. The longbows have got to get out of there. Thinking about the Malians, but yeah, the longbows have to get out of there. Going to lose a scout, I'm afraid. That's less than ideal. You do start off with 2 scouts, though, on the Empire Wars game mode, so bear that in mind. The Chukunu is just going to rip through that outpost, despite having arrow slits. It's kind of bonkers, really, when you think about it. Going to engage now. Alright, well, sorry about that little stutter step. Hopefully that will normalize in just a moment. But yeah, the archer ship pushing away that villager that almost looked like he was going to try and dock, but does have some outposts on the field. Also moving across the middle of the map. Here are the Man-at-Arms heading westwards. Now, that stutter step, unfortunately, I don't have my new PC back yet from repairs. It's been a bit of a frustrating time with that one, actually. I had my 4K streaming set up. Unfortunately, the PC died on me pretty quickly, and now back to the old setup, which does sometimes stutter like that, but hopefully won't happen again. Apologies for that. Do bear with me as I do hopefully get my PC back relatively soon. But it's a great start to this casted game, so I don't really want to redo this one, to be totally honest. Just because that starter step sometimes is difficult to predict. It should hopefully not happen again, but we will see. The military numbers actually starting to build up for the Chinese. 49. This is the situation where the Mister's actually in a tough spot. Like, he's getting pushed back a little bit, and he's suffering because he doesn't have a stronger economy. Or strong as economy, I should say. You can see how much the Man-at-Arms are tanking, right? These Chukunu, they do a burst damage, but it doesn't necessarily feel like enough at times, and I think the Mister, if he can get some wood and get the rams out, he might look to try and turn this into a ram rush. We shall see. Things are heating up. The Mister, his plan of action is starting to potentially come to fruition, but it's got to come soon because, you know, this is a lot of fishing economy that the Chinese have. I would love to... I mean, I don't know. This is a really interesting thought to think about. Just hold the phone. I have an idea. And I wonder whether this is what Mister's planning. So the Chinese actually have a lot of their economy on water right now. But Mister has the full map control. Like, there's a decent number of fishing ships here. 12 fishing ships. If, for whatever reason, or for some reason, or for a good reason, I would say, Mister decides to direct these rams at this dock, that fishing economy would be shut down in an instant, and that's a lot of wood investment. And sure, WAM will have a larger economy, as you can see, 63 versus 45, but if you can idle out this number of fishing ships, 12 of them, that eco difference won't be as big. Heading forward with 2 rams to start off, it gives the position away, the idea away. Heading in with a 3rd now, it does have quite a decent number of man-at-arms and longbows. I think the man-at-arms is such a strong unit in this situation. It tanks against the Chukunu. You may make the argument that maybe WAM should go for some horsemen, but with range, you know, it is really a costly unit to lose, right? And a lot of these longbow numbers, they can one-shot them. Man-at-arms heading forward, they're going to tank a lot of that damage. Getting into that choke point, rams on the back line, focusing on the Barbican. You can see the glowing hue of those longbowmen, getting the 20% attack speed of the network of castles bonus. Man-at-arms dive in once again. The Chukunu trying to whittle down the longbow numbers, but the man-at-arms hacking and slashing them apart. And the 3 rams could be enough here to take out that Barbican of the Sun. We'll have to see. I'm not so sure. The Chukunu numbers are still in good numbers. And, like, they're coming in with reinforcements very quickly. He's got the defender's advantage. You can just see how many ranges he's got. Holy moly. 7 of them. And he's going to potentially push this back. Villagers coming out to repair, but a little bit too late there, I'm afraid, there, WAM. Only 1 man-at-arms to tank, but you can see tanking is not even enough to one-shot there, I don't think. Only longbows remain. He might need to get another couple of barracks or two, but I like what the mister's doing. He's going for the villages. Now, whilst these are very good buildings for the Chinese, gives them a lot of population space for cheaper cost. Once they're lost, you'll just see that population capacity drop down a lot. Takes out 40 capacity. It's absolutely huge. And if he takes this one out, Wham will be housed. He will be population capped. He'll need to build more, but he's struggling on wood. This is such a smart play because he needs the wood for Chukanus, but if he has to invest it in houses instead, that means less units, less capability to fight back, and 3 rams getting great value for the mister already. The dock is still running though for the Chinese, and whilst that's the case, I mean, could you imagine that dock not being there right now? Because you would then likely need a farming transition, which would be so horrible for the Chinese in terms of wood. Does have 39 villages on wood though, and does have it supervised too as well. Adding in the fact he's got double broadaxe, should be able to keep the wood economy afloat, but he's lost the Barbican in the sun, has lost control of the gold, lost 2 villages. Had to rebuild them. Does have an access to a gold at the back though. But you can just see the constant streaming of units, of English units coming across the map, in the middle of the map. That's going to be dangerous to deal with for Wham. Rams continue forward once again. Going to work on the houses once more, it seems. A number of man-at-arms starting to build up once again. Let's just take a look. He's got a double barracks now. Adding in some more houses. So double barracks and council hall. Seems simple, but it's working. Takes out 2 more houses. Second house is on fire, actually. There it is. There it goes. And if he can take out the production, that'll be critical. So important. Getting the outpost. This is key. This is something that the Chinese will not want to happen. This is the network of castles extending itself. Another ram coming out shortly with those man-at-arms building. Longbows looking to engage, but I don't think he'll commit heavily. Just wants to use the range of the longbows. As you can see, the Chukunu want to get surround on the rams. The villagers coming out to torch. This is smart by Wham. He wants to try and push the longbows back. Doesn't have the network of castles bonus just yet. This is a great fight for the Chinese. It's a good time to take it. Gonna try and take out the rams if he can. The villagers do need to back away in case they lose their lives. The man-at-arms diving in inside the clown car that is the ram. You can fit 16 man-at-arms in there. Holy moly. Villagers come out once again. Now this is great for the mister because it's keeping a lot of the villagers idle. Man-at-arms tanking a lot. There comes the network of castles bonus. You can see the golden U. 20% attack speed. That's going to be decimating those Chukanus with those longbows. Using the range to their advantage. But the man-at-arms numbers dwindling once again. Gets another ram. 4th ram takes out 1 archery range. About to get the 2nd. He needs more man-at-arms, though, you feel here, mister. Gonna get another outpost just in case he loses this position. He doesn't want to lose it fast. If he could get arrow slits, it'd be even more impressive. Man-at-arms diving again once more. Underneath the town centre, Chukunu always dancing around. It's got 84 villagers or 84 economy units versus 56. Military numbers dwindling, though, for the Chinese. It's the military that wins the war, and will the mister win this one? The Chukunu trying to get a little bit of a head to those rams so villagers can come out once more to rush them down. But he isn't so far, and another one comes out, a 3rd one. Going to take an archer range and another house. And all of a sudden, misses position despite not having water. He's looking strong. This is such a different way to play this map, hybrid maps. And usually if you don't win water, you're dead. But the mister has other plans. I guess at this point we shouldn't be shocked really. It's the mister after all. But you can just see on the minimap the constant stream of those red units. Might lose a couple of villagers. Villagers garrison inside. 3 rams. Might be just biding his time here, the mister. Maybe to get a couple more man-at-arms. I would love to see a ram, though. Try and take this out. This dock. Oh, this is important. Couple of man-at-arms going on that wood line. He's going to pull the Chukanus that side. And it gives the rams an opportunity to dive in a little bit in the main base. Man-at-arms back off for now. Looks like the mister playing this tentatively, doesn't want to dive in too much. He's caused a lot of damage. He's happy to go back now. Maybe just reset. Gonna get another 2 rams. He's got to be careful though that he doesn't overinvest in rams and not enough units because, well, the Chinese, they do have a lot of units still. But I'd love to see these rams, as they're not being used, to be taking out that dock. I mean, if he does that, it's a lot of fishing ships. 21 of them. Can you imagine just losing your 21 economy units in the blink of an eye? That could be happening, extending the network of castles bonus further westwards. We're strangling his opponent. Putting him off wood. This is a problem. It does have a wood line here that he's going to have to rely on. Slowly losing out on wood is going to be an issue. Getting a 6th ram. That is a lot of Chukunu though. 82 of them. Or 79 of them now. He deletes the walls. He wants that extra space to walk into if he needs to. Here come the rams again once more. 6 of them. Man at Arms longbow. That's the army composition versus pure Chukunu. It's the Chukunu challenge. The longbow is going to focus on the Chukunus, of course, and nothing else to really hit. The man-at-arms is going to dive in, rushing in, pass through the lumber camps. And he's going to take out a lot of the Chukunus. The Chukunus is struggling to clear out the man-at-arms. The longbows at the back of them got the network of castles bonus. They're peppering their arrows. The burst damage is dishing out a decent amount of damage on the man-at-arms, but they're tanking. They are tanking. In the meantime, he loses his Imperial Academy. Might be losing his town centre. Did rebuild another 2 archery rangers. We shall see. Villagers coming out to torch. Man-at-arms, they are tanking like anything. Got to be careful not to lose his army though, the Mista. Might be overcommitting a little bit. Doesn't really feel like he's got the numbers. He's looking to try and take that town centre out first. Villagers coming out with their torches. Will he get it? I'm not so sure he will. Capital town centre, of course, very, very strong. But still Man-at-arms survive, and as long as there's always Man-at-arms, the Chukunu will struggle to clear up those longbows. As I say that though, Man-at-arms numbers are starting to dwindle. Now, he gets rid of the rams, but he does have repair costs if he wants to keep the TC alive, and he does do that. And that repair cost is going to come expensively. He doesn't have that much wood in the bank at all. The same can't be said for the Mista. The Mista's got plenty of wood. And here comes more rams. I mean, this is actually... Wait. This is actually kind of crazy. Because he's not actually had to seed any more farms. It would be nice to replenish that lumber camp, though. Holy moly. He's got 8 farms. And he's on deer pack. That's kind of insane when you think about it, how much he's funding. Ah, take it back. There we are. I was wondering where the villagers are on food, and they're on the berries. Heading forward once more. Doesn't want to lose his position, I don't think. He worked hard to get it. But I do feel at this point he's got to go for this dock. There's so much food being brought in. I mean, if he has a market whammy, he can buy wood if he wants to and sell food. But if this goes down, makes it a lot more difficult for the Chinese. Here comes another big ram push. Gonna go for one more. A 7 this time. 1 for luck. Not that I believe Mr. needs luck here, because he is looking in a good spot. I mean, it's difficult because he does have a weaker economy. He does have weaker numbers of units. And now Wham does get to the castle age. So that's a big deal. Like, especially when you factor in that it's going to be the astronomical clock tower. It's going to get Nesta bees, right? Nesta bees could cause all sorts of problems for the English. Especially because it's obviously a very heavy infantry-based army. The Rams heading forward. I think he has to back off, the Mista. Feels like he has to back off, maybe get to the castle age himself. He's not that far off it himself. Especially when you consider there could be veterancy coming in the Chukunus in 5 seconds. Yeah, he has to back off for now. Yeah, he has to back off. I think he has to get to the castle age himself. He's going to go up with the King's Palace. Help him catch up a little bit with the economy. Especially when you consider he's lost... Well, he's still got the activated Song Dynasty, but only 1 town centre. So the King's Palace will help him catch up a little bit here, Mr. If this game goes to the late game. But I would love to see him take out this dock. He's got more than enough to do so. Oh, he's going to focus on the archership. I think he has enough longbows here at this point. He should probably feel quite comfortable taking this. Rams are hiding. Good idea to keep them safe, because that's a lot of wood investment, guys. You can't be fooled. That's 250 wood per pop. 7 of them. Ooh, but Wham wants to be aggressive. Okay, this is a problem for the Mista. He's just got to the castle age, but now he's being pushed. He can't fight. He can't fight until he gets the castle age upgrades. The veterancy on the man-at-arms, the veterancy on the longbowmen. But these are still early man-at-arms. Holy moly. Of course they will be. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, he's got Dark Age man-at-arms. And they're still tanking against Chukunu. Oh, no, take that back. Wait a minute. No, he's just got the man-at-arms now. I'll take it back. He's just got the man-at-arms upgrade now. head forward with the longbows as well. These are veteran longbows as well, and if you can get that second attack upgrade, the balanced projectiles, it'd be incredibly strong. I'm going to go for the wedge rivets first, which is totally reasonable. Oh, it did. Oh, okay, so the dock's still there. I thought for a second he took it out, but Ram's heading this way. Maybe looking to sandwich his opponent. Longbow's trying to use their range, and while I'm heading back now, does look to get extended lines just to increase that fishing economy. He's got 110 economy units and is looking incredibly strong. Struggling to get that Barbican of the Sun up though. Man-at-Arms diving in underneath that Barbican of the Sun. They're tanking a lot, especially with that second archer armor upgrade. Ranged attack upgrade. Ranged defense rather. Longbows behind them using the Network of Castles bonus, trying to snipe as many of the Chukanus as possible. Villagers looking to repair that Barbican ASAP. I'm not sure if he'll do it. I think the longbows, some of them are focusing on those villagers. It doesn't matter. The Rams are going to head in that position and take it down very quickly. Man-at-Arms are focusing so heavily as a frontline unit on those veteran Chukunu, and it looks a bit dicey here for Wham. As Man-at-Arms making the big difference. There's no Nest of Bees. It really feels like he's got to get Nest of Bees here and fast. Struggling to afford it on the wood cost and gold cost, no doubt. And he's going to lose the Barbican and Sun once more, I suspect. There's the Nest of Bee as it comes out, and the Mister might need to be a bit careful. Might need to head back and get Siege Workshop and get a couple of springles. He's going to take out the Barbican first, and well, that's another big chunk of wood being needed for repairs. Just got to be careful here, the Mister. Now there is only one Nest of Bees, but it is kind of, you know, dancing with fire here. It's got to be careful. Nest of Bees fires off. Nest of Bees on the Man-at-Arms. Man-at-Arms going to dive in, going to try and get a surround on the Nest of Bees, trying to attack it out if he can, but he can't. The Chukunu gets a good wrap around it. It protects the Nest of Bees. Barbican of the Sun are going to go down once again. Nest of Bees might get another hit off. It does. The fireworks show is underway, but it dishes out a lot of damage. But again, it is just one Nest of Bees. Bear that in mind. And he's losing Chukunu numbers. I think Wham's going to head out of there. Despite having a Nest of Bees, he's got enough oomph here, Mister, in his army to push this back. Rams take out the Barbican once again. And now all of a sudden, Mister's looking strong. Fishing economy is still running though. He's taken out 2 of the 4 landmarks he needs to win the game. But he is now being pushed back slowly but surely. Here comes the farming transition. Quite a heavy one at that. Oh no, not again. No, not again. Mister, how could you do this to me? We saw a player do it recently against Beastie. What do I say? Oh, he's going in the south for the gold with 2 outposts, but that's going to be denied. At least 1. I mean, he's going to lose a lot of villagers here, Wham. This is actually a problem. Despite having Song Dynasty, he's lost so many villagers. He's killed 44 villagers here, Mister. That's right, Mister. Killed 44 villagers so far. That's absolutely huge. Just the food investment in that alone is crazy. But it keeps him on level in terms of economy, or at least relatively level. But he needs to take out that fishing economy. He's got a lot of map control. I'm not sure why he's not. He's giving up this position now that he did work so hard to fight for. But he's struggling on wood, Wham. Ultimately, he's taken a lot of wood. A lot of the wood is in the forward positions. He's struggling because a lot of his economy is here on water. Wait a minute. Here come the round. This is exactly what Mister needs to do. Take out that fishing economy. I was going to go for the villagers on the gold again. Once again, keeping them idle. That's a lot of villagers, by the way. Look at that. 36 units are idle. It's the fishing economy. And you might make the argument that, okay, a lot of the deep water fish has been taken, but the shore fish hasn't. Oh, he's heading deep into the army, into the base again. Is Mister's army. 3 rams focusing there, and it means that Wham can't protect that dock. If he dares to venture out, then he's going to push in the middle here, and then what's going on here? Wham going to try and secure that gold. Didn't even notice that earlier on, to be honest, but Mister walling that in, trying to keep hold of the gold positions. Got to be careful. Nest of Bees on the Man-at-Arms. Man-at-Arms are pretty tanky though. They can handle the Nest of Bees in many ways. He loses the dock, and that's a lot of idle economy. For the Chinese, Nest of Bees. Mister Big. Oh, he's got 2 springolds. That's exactly what he needed to do. But there is a springold there for the Chinese. The springold needs to be taken out first, though. He does lose a springold. Oh, does Mister lose his springold? Oh, he loses it, but he takes out the Nest of Bees. That's absolutely huge. That's exactly what he needed to do. And now the longbows, they can fire freely. Here come the rams once again on the villagers. Going to make the Chinese struggled for that population space. He's certainly struggling. Well, actually, to be fair, he's got 200 population space. But there it is. Wham taps out. He's been bullied and pushed around on this map for too long. The Mista playing this completely differently than you'd expect. Changing it all up. Whatever you thought about Age of Empires 4 and hybrid maps, throw it out the window. The Mista changing everything. Hope you guys enjoy this casted game. Take care and see you next time.